years. And the reason that that language was first designed was because in a shop with 5 or 6 men hammering, it was all but impossible to hear and understand an audible human voice. So they learned that if they put their words into a tapped out coded rhythmatic message upon the anvil, then nobody had to bother to listen to that human voice. And since they was listening to that hammer fall upon the anvil anyway, why not let that be the part that gave them their directions? So then along up in the last part of the 17th century, when Morse code was invented and the telegraph came along, then it took upon itself the name of the blacksmith's Morse code. And just as Morse code was a combination of dits and dots, the blacksmith's was taps and drags upon the anvil, each one of them meaning a different thing, just like the code, and then each group of them put together meant a different thing, just like the code. And even though created thousands of years before, they did bear a great deal of resemblance. But then, for wherever that work was intended to be done upon the piece of metal, that was where that language was tapped out upon the anvil, because this became the hammer gauge to everything that laid upon it. So if the heated surface of your metal that you was working with was only this long, it automatically became this long, because this was the gauge to it all. This represented the back, quarter way up, half, 3/4, and the end. But then, 1908, 1910, that was when the whole wide world woke up that day and realized that the anvil was no longer just a tool, and the anvil that day was thus adopted into the percussion musical instruments. And then you had the anvil choruses, which were made up of up to 50 anvils, all keyed differently. Most of your major orchestras, your bands, your symphonies, all had an anvil in them. But to play one sounds a lot like wind chimes, bells, hammer dulcimer, xylophone. Me and my 3 cousins that work for me, we still use that 50-part language just like we did 37 years ago. So when we're working together, it sounds a lot like what you're about to listen to. So none of my neighbors have any need of wind chimes. My left hand represents the master's hammer, and my right hand represents his striker's hammer. tin roof. We're touching the sleep. Without any fear of telling you wrong. I can honestly say, without a doubt, that this was the first and original heavy metal music.